Hi, it's Hope and welcome to the vlog. That's weird to say because I haven't ended my last vlog yet, but this is going to be my reading vlog for House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. I literally have the package right here. It wasn't supposed to arrive until the 21st. It's currently the 18th, and the thing is, I can't immediately start this because I'm still 75% into House of Earth and Blood. So I'm going to be finishing that tonight and then starting this tomorrow, but I want to see my first reaction and have my first reaction on camera of like seeing the book. I obviously can't flip the package around because my address is on the back, but I just want to film me opening this and literally just start to finish my thoughts. Jesus Christ, I wasn't sure if I was gonna film this. Why am I struggling so much with this package? I originally wasn't going to film this. I was just going to put it in my normal reading vlog. But I have a feeling that I will be reading this just throughout the weekend here. And I'm just going to shut my mouth right now. Yeah, because this is the Indigo exclusive edition. Holy fuck, that's a chunker. Chuck that there. So here's the book. And the gorgeous end pages. Holy hell, I did not know the end pages were that beautiful. And then the white. Ooh, I did not realize it had the little white and blue, and then the end pages on the other side are the same. Yeah, I had to confirm that. I was like, is it the same? Or it's very similar because there's a lightning, there's not. Like, that's the front end page. Jesus Christ, I can't do this. That's the front end page, that's the back end page, so it's not technically the exact same, but it's very similar. Ooh, I don't know why that's beautiful. I literally am like, ooh, I've never actually seen the map in person. I've only ever seen it digitally. So yeah, join me on this adventure of reading this. I am very, very, very nervous. I have been told not to look back at the page count, so I'm not going to. And yeah, I'm just so excited to have this in my possession. I should probably put the dust jacket back on. And yeah, I actually haven't even read the description of the book. Oops. We're not gonna. So yeah, join me on this adventure as I get my heart ripped out, probably, as I want to throw this across the room, probably, and just this fun, ow, I just hit myself in the face, this fun adventure with this book. Okay, so it is 10:40, I literally just ended my last vlog, and now it's time to start this, but before I start this, I have just a couple of questions slash theories slash predictions. The two predictions are just like kind of like funny little predictions. So some of these could me just be asking these questions because I'm a dumb idiot, or like they could be reaching for some questions. There's not that many. So the one is I'm looking up here because I have the notes on my computer here. So one is one that's kind of answered, but I want more information on, and I highly doubt we will, but you never know, is how did all the different species come from the different worlds, and what worlds they come from? I understand that they came through during the crossing at the Northern Rift, like when the horn can open, like when it was able to open like the Northern Rift in like the portals type thing. But did everything come from one world, multiple world? And then I have this one single comment is one we've already seen, as in like the Fae in Crescent City are like this, like maybe one of the same fae that we see in Throne of Glass or ACOTAR or like something like that. And like I do think that the like timelines are kind of running consecutively, like type thing. And this is information that I'm reaching at myself, but also I watched last night Becca from Becca and the Book. She did like a whole recap of House of Earth and Blood, theories for House of Sky and Breath, and also a video about like how the ACOTAR world, the Throne of Glass world, and the Crescent City world are all kind of like not interwoven together, but they all are like connected. And I have a cat scratching at my door. Great. Fine, we get a cat while I do these theories. So like that's just my thing. I want to know just a little bit more about it. And then I just have a single thing of Hunt's father. Why do Adis and Jessica know who he is? And how will that tie back to the story? Because it is unknown that like Hunt doesn't know who his father is. But I feel like it will become like relevant at some point because of Adis and Jessica's like conversation in the epilogue of House of Earth and Blood. And then I have what actually is Jessica, because I know she's more than she claims, and she is like claiming to be like a defective witch, right? And so I'm like, but there's got to be more because of like there just has to be more, and all that. And then I have just Fury, what actually is she, because we have no idea how old she is or what species she is. All we know is she is like an assassin slash mercenary working like on like Pangea and all of that. And then just another comment is Hunt and Bryce endgame? If not, I will cry. They have to be. And then I have two predictions. One is actually about the plot, and then one is just about my emotions. So, predictions, we will learn more about the Starborn Fae and their abilities, because obviously, it's, like, we know that Bryce is also Starborn, like Rune, but Bryce has the horn abilities because of the tattoo. So, like, we'll learn more about that. I feel like that's kind of almost like a given. And then another predictions, I will cry at least 3 times. That is just probably a given. I cried about 10 times the first time I read House of Earth and Blood. I probably won't start the book for another couple hours because I'm still trying to wake up. And also I'm having to mentally prepare myself, but I will let you know after I read a few chapters, first thoughts and all of that. Okay, so I read the prologue. And I'm very, like, intrigued because the prologue, we're following a character named Sophie, who is, like, from, like, the continent Pangea. And she's, like, the descendant of, like, a Thunderbird? Right? Yeah, she's a fucking Thunderbird. And I'm very curious how that's gonna play. And then based on this prologue, I feel like we're going to definitely learn more about Pangea, which is, like, the other, like, because we have Crescent City or Lunathia, that, like, Bryce is from, for example, but there's so many other places that have been name dropped but not actually visited really, and Pangea is one of them. That's a continent. So I feel like we're gonna learn more about that. We're gonna learn more about the world and like all of that. So yeah, I'm gonna start chapter 1 now. It's like 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock and I've read like 20 pages. This is gonna take more than the weekend, I think. Okay, so I am now on, let me just check, page 70 or about to go into chapter 5, and some things have happened. So I'm not gonna go like, I'm gonna go into spoiler details. Like, I'm gonna go into spoiler details, but I'm not gonna sit here and go, okay, this is what happens, and this is what happens, and this is what happens. I'm just briefly gonna go over things. So, at this point so far, for example, with Bryce and Hunt, they have kind of agreed, like mutually agreed, more like Bryce brought it up, Hunt agreed, and now they're both regretting it, is to essentially spend until winter solstice just being friends and letting the friendship develop, and then the subsequent feelings of that happen instead of just diving right into bed with each other and kind of going backwards almost, because the only reason that they were close with each other is because of the stress of what happened in book 1. And you should know I don't really like that much. I should be holding it this way so that this is the front. And then we pretty much had the prologue like I mentioned, and then it was like Juniper did a performance, Hunt, Bryce, and Bryce's parents went. There was a party at Rune's house like after, and then now we have a fae named Cormac from I always forget how to pronounce it. Avalon? Who is the Prince of Avalon, who is also Rune's cousin on his mother's side. Like, so it's like Rune's mother's family type thing is from Avalon. And apparently there is a agreement between the Autumn King and the High King of Avalon that Bryce and Cormac are going to, is it Cormac, something like that? I honestly am only half paying attention. Prince Cormac and Bryce are apparently to be wed, and I'm like, no. And that is because there's like a fae thing that if a fae female is not wed, she technically can be married off by a her father, for example, can make a marriage agreement, and the female fae has to go through with that. And I am like, can her marrying somebody negate that? Can Bryce and Hunt have like a shotgun wedding and just so that she's therefore wed and therefore doesn't have to go through with this? Am I the only one thinking that? Maybe. And yeah, that's pretty much like it. Bryce doesn't have control of her powers, really, and that's kind of where I'm at so far. I'm really enjoying this. I'm reading it slower than I wanted to because I'm 70 pages in and it's 450, so I've spent almost, 5 hours reading it. I've read 70 pages. To be fair, I did get distracted by Instagram when TJ Klune went live with, I can't remember who else, and it was like a thing of talking about the Green Creek series, which is one of my favorite series of all time, so of course I had to watch it. And that was like an hour, so that did take time away from this, but I will be doing reading sprints with some friends later, so I'll get some more of this done. And I'm very curious to see where this is going to go. I know that we're going into chapter 5, we're in Therian's point of view, which I don't know if I expected that or not. So now I'm kind of curious, and I will definitely be reading more. I think currently food's being made. Read more of this. My goal is today to hit page 200 at least, I think is my goal. So I'm now on page 170, so I've read 100 pages from the last time that I updated, and a lot has happened. So far, one thing that I forgot to mention before was that the character of Ethan, I think that's how it's pronounced, showed up at Bryce's apartment bleeding and all of that, and Bryce and Ethan have had kind of an up and down history. They were close friends until Danica and the Devil's Pack died, and then afterwards kind of he hated her, but he shows up and then shows up and then kind of makes amends almost type thing, and then we have Therian, who is kind of doing his own thing, something that he is supposed to do for his job essentially, and this ends up getting tied back possibly to Danica, who is obviously dead. And then also, this also ties back to the character of Sophie that I mentioned before, and it ties back to Sophie and Sophie's brother Emil. I think that's how it's pronounced. And so things are happening, and currently we're trying to. I honestly don't even know what's going on. You're gonna hear that a lot of I don't know what's going on. This definitely feels a lot like House of Earth and Blood in the fact that it's very long, And like, not that it's hard to get into, like I'm into it, but it's definitely like, I'm 170 pages in, and the only plot is we're trying to figure out this stuff that links back to like Sophie and Emile, and then also that also links back because one of the people that is looking for them is this person whose nickname is like the Hind, and the Hind is the witch queen that Rune is like kind of like engaged to. So like things are just linked. It's 10 o'clock and I'm just gonna put this down, I think for the night maybe. My brain is starting to go a little bit numb almost, and just my hands hurt from holding such a big book. Like, this book is not light. It's like 800 pages. I'm not looking back at the exact page count because I've heard people have looked back and then have gotten spoiled, so we're not gonna do that. I'm currently on live with a few friends, and I just kind of, not that I'm not enjoying this and I don't want to continue it, but my brain is starting to go mush, so I'm going to switch to something smutty, which will be very easy for my brain to read, and I will probably pick this up in the morning or whenever, maybe later. I have honestly no idea. Okay, so it is 11 o'clock and I haven't read the book since. I last updated. I ended up, as I mentioned, a book that I was reading, I DNF'd it, started a different one. That's a whole separate thing. But I'm about to hop on sprints with some friends. I'm realizing that after tomorrow, I would have been on sprints 4 days in a row, which I'm fine with, but very, very, very excited to jump back into this. I'd love to reach page 400 by the end of the day, or like around that. Obviously, if page 400 isn't like a chapter break, but let's say 397 is, I'm counting that as 400, basically as close to 400 as possible. My brain is just like, literally last night I was trying to fall asleep and my brain was like, what the fuck have I read? In like a good way of like, my brain is struggling to process it, but if it's struggling to process it, that means I'm actually having to think about what's going on and process it. Okay, I randomly just started coughing, so I don't know what the last thing I said is. But with this book is I'm actually having to process it and like think about what's going on and like use the information that I already know and all of that to predict what's going to happen, and then as we're learning things, switch that up, which not that I normally don't do, but I'm having to do it at like a more severe level than this. To be fair, I don't really read that many adult fantasies, so that could possibly be why I'm doing this, and also the way it's just so like, so amazing. So yeah, goal is like 400, which I'm risking this. I'm literally just looking at the page. 402 is a page break, so I want to get to chapter 38. I didn't dare read anything else besides 38 and 102, 402. So that's my goal. That's my goal for today. I want to get this finished before, like, I want to finish it on or before Tuesday. That is my goal. Yeah, that sounds like a good goal. So I am now 228 pages in, and I honestly don't remember the last thing that I said, so this might be repeats or anything like that. But basically, that's how my brain feels right now. I just really don't know what to like what my brain is thinking. I had a thought before, and now as soon as I turn the camera on, I can't remember. Okay. Cormac and Bryce have mutually agreed to have a fake engagement to cover up the fact that he is trying to figure out stuff about the whole Danica and Sophie thing, because what they were doing was highly illegal, because of the whole thing, and Cormac is somehow involved in this. I still don't fully understand fully. Cormac and Sophie were it's not necessarily in a relationship, but they clearly liked each other, probably loved each other, were basically in a relationship type thing. And now Sophie is either dead or unaccounted for. We have no idea where she is. So Cormac is involved in that way, which I don't know if I like, because I hated him at the beginning, but now I'm like, okay, if you're on our side, do I like you? And then also we have Therian in on this. We've had Adis show up as a cat and freaking was just sitting on Ethan's lap getting like pet, and I'm like, that was fucking hilarious, because Ethan didn't know that the cat was Adis. So yeah. And what else has happened? This is in no particular order also. Already mentioned that Therian's involved. Bryce and Hunt have agreed to just kind of cut that that agreement that they had of waiting till winter solstice. So I'm very, very, very excited for that, because they basically like made out in an alleyway. And now I'm like, if you're making out in an alleyway, what's gonna happen when you two get into a bedroom alone? I'm trying to think of what else I need to say about this book. There's a little bit more stuff to being introduced about the Starborn and like the original Starborn prince, and that stuff I'm a little bit like, that is not fully sinking in, but I'm still really enjoying it. This book definitely is not going the way that I thought it was, and I'm very happy with where it's going. It's a little bit slow, but still enjoyable, and I do still think I can get to that page 400 like fairly easy, because it is kind of starting to pick, like, not starting to pick up the pace, but I'm getting the new characters that are being introduced or being touched more upon are being, like, I'm now getting the grip of them and their backstories. Well, their backstories that we've already known, but like, yeah, what I'm kind of saying is like the characters' interactions, I'm starting to kind of like understand them a little bit more and understanding where it could go. But I could be like totally wrong and all of that. Like, this is literally just me rambling. I might have to put in the beginning of this vlog a clip of me just being like, this is me rambling for an hour at this point. So yeah. So I've now made it to part 2. So I figured, how am I even holding this book? I made it to part 2, so I figured it would be the perfect time to update. And also, I feel like I'm just like repeating myself, is not a lot has happened, but a lot has happened at the same time. One thing, the first thing that I have to talk about is we got a little bit of spice. Not a whole lot, but like more than we got, or kind of the equivalent of what we got in the first book almost, and that is Bryce gave Hunt a blowjob. We'll just say it straight off the bat. And of course, I read that on live and just had to be like, yeah, totally not reading that. So like, they kind of just said fuck their agreement and that. And then of course, during this whole thing, Ethan, whose name I still don't know if I'm pronouncing right, I'm just pronouncing it the way I think it is, was like down the hall because he's staying with Bryce, and was kind of just like, yeah, next time, like, it was like kind of in a funny way, was like, I could fucking hear you, which was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious, and I loved that. And then also, what else has happened? That's a genuine question. There is something to do with with Apollyon, who is that's not where I'm at, is one of I'm trying to find exactly who the fuck he is. Yeah, Apollyon, who is the Prince of the Pit, is gonna be involved, so aka one of the like princes of hells, in a not good way. He also did a weird mind thing with Hunt also, and that's, I don't understand that, of basically kind of like being like, Bryce and Hunt's powers are, I think it was something like similar than they think, but also can act, or apparently, according to Apollyon, like act as almost like a conduit to each other. Don't quite fully understand how that's gonna come into play. And then there's also, we have a new Archangel who has been in the book for like over 100 pages. I've already forgotten the name. I'm bad at remembering names. There's a million names. Celestina, who is the new Archangel to replace Micah. And then she also brought two people in with her, kind of, who are people from Hunt's past, who I don't really know much about. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Shit's kind of happening. I still don't know what's going on. Are we really surprised though? I do feel like I will be able to get to that 400 page mark, because I am almost at, I think I'm what, 278? 277. So 130, yeah, 130 pages left till I get to that like 400 page goal. Okay, I've officially cried at the book, because I don't remember what the last thing I did was. In all honesty, I don't think much has happened since I last updated, in all honesty, because that happened then. Let me just figure this shit out. Oh yeah, like nothing's really happened, but let's just say Hunt went down on Bryce in the gym of her apartment, and then I love yous were exchanged, and then also Hunt being like, let me just find these, like, and then Hunt being like, of how like, of Bryce was like, what do I call you now, my boyfriend? And he was like, no. And then it's like, what about mate? They have mates, right? The term they use, mates are an intense thing for Fae. It's a lifetime commitment, something sworn between bodies and hearts and souls. It's a binding between beings. You say that I'm your mate in front of any Fae, and it will mean something big to them, and they agree that that is what they will call each other, even though they've only known each other for 5 months. And I'm just gonna fucking start crying, because, like, I swear, like, me hearing those words, like, them say those words, and then exchange, like, they are going to refer to each other as mates, it equally scares me and excites me, because I'm like, what will Sarah do at this point? Because at this point they're like, okay, yeah, they're going to be mates forever, and I'm like, okay. But the thing is, that scares me now, because of like, okay, they're mates now, in whatever the sense of the word is to them type thing. But the thing is like, I still am not convinced that they're not endgame, because when I was on the live, somebody was just like, bitch, what the fuck? And I'm like, what is that referring to? And there's been things that, like, things have happened, because, like, the live I was just on, well, one of the people was reading the book, and then one of the person's, like, fiance was reading and was popping in every so often, and literally just, like, walked in at one point going, bitch, what the fuck? And I'm like, what is that referring to? It's probably nothing to do with Bryce and Hunt, in all honesty, but I'm like, things like that scare me. So I'm like, I am 318 pages in for reference. I have to edit a vlog for tomorrow, like a video that goes up tomorrow, and then I will be reading more. So it's 9:30 and I have made it to page 402, which means that I passed the 400 page mark, and I made my goal. I'm so happy. Not much has happened. Take a shot every time I say that. You will be dead by the end of this video. But, again, not much has happened. One thing that I haven't mentioned, but I'm now starting to think that it's going to become relevant, therefore I'm going to mention it. So I don't really know how to explain this, but Rune essentially has been almost being like a informant of sorts for the people that Cormac like works for. And there is this person called Agent Daylight that Rune has been interacting with, but it's like a weird mental thing where it's like, because Rune has the abilities to like talk to somebody kind of like through the, like, just like kind of like telepathy type thing, but it's kind of like that, but it was initiated because of like a crystal thing. Don't ask me, I don't know. But now they're talking, and the two of them are kind of like exchanging information around, like, to not really information, but kind of a little bit of information around like Emil, and we still don't know where the fuck he is, all that. And it's like, we've tried the Bone Quarter, is that what the place is called? Yeah, like Bryce and Hunt searched through the Bone Quarter, which is like, it's not the afterlife, but it's kind of the equivalent almost type thing, which, because like you can things can sneak in type thing, like Bryce and Hunt are able to go there even though they're not dead type thing, because they were like, oh, maybe he's there. And there's a thing that, like, you know how I said of like almost being like a conduit? That happened where Hunt was able to like almost like level up, I'm gonna like use that because I don't really know how else to describe it, his abilities because of the Star Sword that Bryce was carrying around. I still don't know how. And then also a huge thing is we found out who Danica's father is, which I had that written in my notes originally, but I was like, that's not gonna come into play. Danica's dead. Danica's not gonna be a huge part of the book. Liar, liar, pants on fire. I should have guessed that. So we're learning about her father, and her father works with the people that are trying to capture Emil for the bad reasons, and then our characters are trying to almost capture him for protection, almost. This is like insane. Like, little did we know. No. The first book, we were trying to find the horn, and now we're trying to find a 13-year-old kid. Because Emil is like, said at the beginning that he's about 13-ish. So like, also a side thing that I kind of find funny is Ethan has moved in with Rune, Declan, and Flynn, solely to get away from Hunt and Bryce, from them, obviously, so doesn't hear them having sex, which they still haven't had it, but still. Hunt kind of got in trouble from Celestina because of like kind of bowing out on a thing, and now his punishment is he has to stay at the barracks for 2 weeks instead of Bryce's apartment. So she's being a huge cockblock. And there's a bunch of other things going on, and blah. Let's tell you how my brain is going. Since it's already 9:30, well, it's closer to 9:40 now because of how long it's taken me to film this, I think I'm going to call it a night for this, solely because I don't know how much more information my brain can take. So I will update this in the morning, and I will probably not pick this up until I do sprints tomorrow, because I'm going to be on another person's channel for sprints. And then after that, I'm done sprints until next Saturday. Nope, if you need me for sprints, nope, I'm not available. So, yeah. So I haven't read any of the books since last night. It is 12:17, and I'm about to hop on sprints with a friend and get some reading done. My goal is to reach maybe close to 600, because I'd like to get that done by tomorrow. So like if I do 200 pages a day, that is doable, I believe, especially with doing sprints today. So yeah, I will update you when things happen and all of that. Okay, totally random prediction. I have no idea if this is going to stay in the vlog, but this one thing that is said of in this is like Hunt is destroying this thing. We're at this island destroying these things that if they get into the hands of the wrong people, it could be deadly to either Veneer, which are like anything but human essentially, or the humans. And this is like Hunt didn't stop at destroying the suit. His lightning slammed the park trucks too, every single one of them. Bryce couldn't help but marvel at the sight of him, like the god of lightning, like Thor himself. We have no idea who Hunt's father is. So is Hunt's father the god Thor? Or because that would work because of how he's so powerful, and it would make sense of how a Prince of Hell, aka Adis, knows who Hunt's father is because Hunt's father is a god? That is just a random goddamn guess. No idea if it's true or not. Random fucking guess. I'm just making this prediction now so that if it is true, I can say I fucking guessed it before the reveal. So I'm now on page 518 and things have happened, but I'm struggling to even process it. So like we ended up going to like a person, by we I mean Bryce, Ethan, and Rune, right? It was just those three that went to try to get information on like about Connor, which I still don't understand why. And then we also now have gone to that island that I'm talking about. Stuff happened. I don't understand much, but you might as well say like Hunt went apeshit kind of, and like his power and Bryce's power, as I said, like kind of like he was like went full berserk, and it's because of their powers like not mending together but like working with each other, because they are like true mates. Like this line, this made me cry. This is like a thing that Bryce and Rune are having like via like Rune's like telepathy thing, is so this was how he was the day with Sandriel. When he ripped your head off, you were in danger then too. And what's that supposed to mean? Why don't you tell me? You seem like you know what the fuck is happening with him. It means that he's going ballistic in the way that only mates can when the other is threatened. It's what happens then, and it's what happened then and what's happening now. You're true mates, the way that they are mates, in bodies and souls. That what was different about your scent the other day, your scents have merged as they do between they mates. So what? So find some way to calm him down. Athlon's your fucking problem now, because he went ballistic essentially, and like nobody was able to calm him down. Nothing. Like his power was just like at like a constant high from like attacking these things, like which I still don't fully understand. And so like Bryce ended up we're currently like underwater type thing, and so Bryce had to be like, okay, I'm just gonna like go take him to like this other place and calm him down. Yeah, guess how she calmed him down. Like it only took the entire first book and then 504 pages for them to finally fuck. And it's like I genuinely, like, I was reading it on the live, so I was like, I actually have a whole, like, I was reading it on the live, so like that was definitely interesting. So like that was very fun reading it on the live. And I'm honestly just like, okay, now that they've done it once, can we do it again? Can we have a couple more smutty scenes between them? Because the thing is, this was more of like the pure intent to bring his power down, to like let him like burst the whole power away kind of type thing. And in doing so, Bryce teleported the two of them somewhere else because she apparently has the power to teleport. So it was like, as they finished, they realized that they were somewhere else and she teleported them. Yeah. And then we also have confirmed that Sophie is dead, and I think we might be going to a morgue to see her body. That's, I think, what it is, because the next line of the thing is, the morgue was cold and quiet. So I'm like, I'm guessing we're at a morgue. I still don't know what's going on with this book. I couldn't tell you, but it was I'm very loving this. I'm only at 518. I already forgot what page I'm on, and I don't know how much more of this I can read today. Not that I'm not enjoying it, I'm 100% enjoying it, but my brain is just kind of starting to like go all over the place, so I think I'm going to take a little break and then maybe read like a couple more chapters. I think my goal is now like 550 instead of 600, but yeah. Okay, so I have two things to update on with this book, and then I'm also calling it a night. So the two things to update on are, one is we know where Emil is. Bryce has known the entire time our characters were off doing God's knows what. I'm saying that because I don't understand why we went over to the place that we did and the thing happened. But Emil was safe in the, with the Viper Queen. Safe with the Viper Queen. That's a sentence I didn't think I'd actually say. Though that doesn't sound right. But he was safe with the Viper Queen, and now, one thing that is like so freaking sweet and made me tear up a little bit was that Bryce had made an arrangement with her mom that her mom and stepdad were to adopt Emil, so now like he's a part of the family, and I do really enjoy that, of like, it's like a way of like kind of like because Bryce is from a smaller town, it's to get him out of the like the way. And also the thing is, he isn't a Thunderbird like we thought, of like Sophie has the powers but Emil doesn't, so he's just a basic human. And so Bryce was the one that kind of was more like going along with the fact that he had this power, so that people would look for him to keep him safe type thing. And like, kind of confusing, but then also this is something that just happened on the page. I'm on page 558 for reference. So this happens, like the thing before is, so when Ethan, Flynn, and Declan went and did their stupid thing, they ended up gaining 3 fire sprites and a dragon. Yes, you heard that correctly. And apparently, that dragon fire is one of the few substances proven to harm princes of hell. It can burn through even the prince of the pit's dark hide. So this dragon named Ariadne is going to be maybe part of the plot. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on. But I'm loving it so much. But I'm calling it a night because I'm starting to just like, brain is slowly starting to trail off and just not be able to fully comprehend. But I did read over 150 pages today, which is like, normally I probably on average less than 100 pages of a physical book a day. And this is just a really big chunky book. So like, really, what do we expect? This is taking me a little longer than I thought. My goal is still to finish it tomorrow. But we'll see. I do have a feeling that once I get to like, especially the last like 150 pages, that's when shit's really gonna pick up, and I'm really gonna like not want to put it down. And the thing is, I don't want to put it down, but I want to be able to fully comprehend everything, and right now I can't. So I will see you sometime tomorrow when I continue on with this book. Okay, so we're gonna ignore the fact that I'm wearing the same outfit as yesterday. Just no comment. But I have been reading for about 2 hours now. It's 1:49, and I'm now at page 621, and not that not much has happened, but the only thing that has happened that is notable and actually like really adding to the plot, I guess, is the Witch Queen Hypaxia has now kind of like started interacting with our characters, like with Rune and Bryce, and then when Bryce, Hypaxia, and then Ethan were like going somewhere type thing, they ended up getting attacked by like demons from the pit, and that's like the only notable thing that really happened, I guess, besides Bryce and Hunt fucking in the library at her job. But that's like the only things that's really happened. And I'm scared because I have less than 200 pages left. So wish me luck, I guess. Okay, so it's 4:38 and I'm now up to page 652 or chapter 61. And I just want to talk a little bit about stuff. Again, not much has happened. Take a shot every time I said that. I feel like I've already said that. So essentially, what has happened so far is we now are at the autumn equinox, or like Death Day, where there's a like celebration where Celestina, it's like her mating ceremony type thing, not quite thing, like her thing with another archangel named Epheram? Is that how it's pronounced? Let me just quickly... Epheram? Yeah, we'll go with that. And officially, Bryce and Hunt have announced that they are mates, and then also because of Bryce using her title as princess, she's now legally legally on her everything princess. And then because of Hunt being mates, which is essentially the equivalent to being more than married to the Fae type thing, that he can now technically go by the title of prince as well because of marrying a princess. That was funny to see. So yeah, and I don't think anything else has really happened, but we will see. We're in the final, we're getting in the final stretch, final 150 pages. So in chapter 62, it was revealed that Apollyon put Bryce into the dream world thing, she was dreaming, he kind of took over the dream type thing almost, and revealed essentially that Prince Adis, who was one of the princes of hell, and Queen Thea, who was one of the first Starborn, had something going on, and Thea was on the side of hell or something like that. And then that also, which I don't know how that's going to play in. We're currently chatting about it. We're about to talk about it probably. And then also with the combination of Bryce and Hunt's abilities, the horn can be used to open, that they can be used to open the doors. The horn can be used to open rifts, one of them being to hell, and that's what Apollyon wants Bryce to do. So I'm now on chapter 66 or page 710, so I'm in the last 100 pages, and so far we've learned that the character of Baxian, who I can't remember if I mentioned before, but is a part of the Triari with Hunt, aka they work for Celestina kind of type thing, that Baxian was Danica's mate. When I had to tell you, I wish I was filming, because I literally had to just get up and just walk in a circle for a few seconds there. And it's revealed that Danica had to go do something, they met, and then obvious things, and then obviously she died. And then also we are seemingly going to be breaking into this as who said this? So apparently Bryce has this good idea of breaking into a place called the Eternal Palace that is one of the most highly guarded like, we're going into we're breaking into this place called the Eternal Palace, which is the most secure place on Midgard. So the most secure place on the planet because of something that Sophie was looking for. And, like, the thing is, one thing with this book that it's not lowering my rating at all, this is going to be 5 stars, but one thing that I definitely will need to reread this in the near future, because I almost don't understand Sophie's, like, essentially why she's in the book. Like, I understand it, but I don't understand it on the level I'd like to. So that, and there's also, like, the thing called, like, the Orpheon, or Orpheon, I literally can't even pronounce it. That is, like, an organization that I don't understand really what it is. I understand that they're the bad guys that work for the Asteri but are bad for something, but I don't understand why they're, like, you get what I'm saying? There's things that I'm like, I understand to, like, the basic level, but onto anything beyond that, I don't. But my back is killing me from sitting in this chair and reading, so I'm going to lay down, let my back take a break, and then also, I actually might shower, take like a half an hour break, and then read the final, 100 pages, and I will definitely be recording my reaction for, probably most of that, in all honesty. So, and then I will pick this back up and read the last 100 pages and film some of my reactions here or there on things. I know that Kaylani from Kaylani Simply Me, who's, like, one of my friends, and we've been messaging about this book, she said to film your reaction for film my reaction for the last, 30 or so pages, so I will for sure be doing that. I mean, if she recommends it, I'm gonna do it. Chapter 76. So one of the Asteri pretended to be Adis earlier here in the book. So when I mentioned Adis showing up, it wasn't actually Adis. Okay. Do I dare take a sip of water, or will I end up doing a spit take? What? So Bryce is giving herself up in exchange for Rune and Hunt's freedom. Oh no. Nope. Okay. I think this is actually happening. Okay. Don't cry more. I'm gonna fucking start sobbing at this point. I feel nauseous at this point. So Bryce just went through a gate. I don't know if she created it or if it was one that was there. I have no idea. In chapter 77, I have no idea if this is the last chapter or not, and I'm too scared to look. I'm not gonna cry with the gate thing. I'm not gonna cry with the gate thing yet. Nope, nope, nope. Nope, not gonna start fucking crying because of Hut. No. Not gonna cry because of Hut's feelings. No. I'm not gonna cry, but if the thing is, if this ends the way I think it's gonna end, I'm gonna fucking crying just through the sadness. 78. What? Where the fuck are we? Because hell has grass, and you'd think it wouldn't. She was on someone's cliff, immaculate lawn, and across the river emerging from the mist. A city, ancient and beautiful. What? Like... I am so fucking confused. Oh my god. No, this just has to be coincidence. No. What? Huh? Because, like, the description of this, what the fuck? Oh, fuck. No, no. I'm about 98% sure that, Bryce has been, went through the gate and now is in Valeris with, and may have been, like, kidnapped by the inner circle. Because so far things are a little too, thing. Because, so far, there's a guy that description sounds like Reese. The petite, dark-haired female with angular eyes like furies drew up short, red-painted mouth dropped open, no doubt at the blood all over Bryce's face and body. That sounds like Amryn. Another winged male. Pretty female, brown gold hair. Also Faye. That sounds like it could be Cassian and Nesta. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna fucking cry. There's a crossover. Oh my gosh, I don't know how I feel. Oh fuck. Oh my gosh, you're telling me. You're telling me. So the ancient language of the Fae, of the Starborn, is the language of Akhtar. And essentially, oh my god, and oh my gosh. Star's sword is actually the lost sword of Gwyndion. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that. That is mentioned in Silver Flames. Oh my gosh, we're in the fucking act. What the fuck? not gonna fucking cry. I'm genuinely trying not to cry. Joking when I was saying, like, at one point I was like, I want, like, the characters to interact between the worlds. Holy fuck, I don't care if I'm ugly crying. Okay, this is fine. Now I get why people said not to try to find the page count, because the last like page before the epilogue, the last line is, "Hello, Bryce Quinlan. My name is Reese." Like. She went. I feel like there's snot about to come out of my nose. I'm crying. Oh, like it's oh, like I'm crying, but it's more of like I'm not bringing tears out. It's just the emotions. Oh fuck. I don't care what's going on with the others now at this point. I don't care. Oh, I don't care about the epilogue. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. We're getting a Crescent City and ACOTAR crossover. The next book is essentially going to be a crossover. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Okay, I'm just gonna, now this epilogue, I don't give a shit. I literally still feel like I'm shaking. I'm so glad I filmed this reaction. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Brian, she disappeared. She's in the goddamn fucking actor world. I need a fucking message, Kaylani. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So, I don't care about the goddamn fucking acknowledgements, bitch. Oh my gosh, I'm quickly gonna switch clips. Okay, so I finally let the fact that Bryce is in Valeris sink in, even though it's not really sinking in. And then I also read the epilogue, but the only information is of how there's a, essentially, like, in the astronomer's place that I mentioned, did I mention it? I don't know. Essentially, there's like a lost Fenrir heir, so like somebody in Danica's bloodline type thing. And yeah, that's like all that epilogue is really. The epilogue I feel like will lead into more things, but the fact that fucking Bryce is in Valeris is overshadowing everything else in this book. Like, okay, there's a whole thing with the fandom is that it was like, oh, if Sarah J. Maas ever does a crossover, it's just going to be a cash grab. It's going to be, like, just fan service. And I do feel like this is almost, but I'm like, but there's going to be more information because we are learning that the Asteri have conquered all of these worlds and that, like, all of the creatures of Midgard, the species of Midgard, are from these various planets, and they've, like, planets in these solar systems that aren't like the ones that Midgard are from. Are they from the same universe even? Because it is almost like, is it the same universe, or is it part of a multiverse? And I'm just my brain is not able to process this. I definitely need to reread the last few chapters, because I don't understand. Like, I get why Bryce went through the gate, but I wasn't quite paying attention enough to know who created the gate, and then also, like, I know why she's going through is, like, is something to do with, like, an Assyria in exchange for her going through the gate. Like, Rune and Hunt will be kept safe. But I don't understand why they're in danger almost at the same time. So I'm going to reread all that, let all of this sink in. I will say my final thoughts and then wrap up this vlog. Because I know this vlog, like, I will celebrate if this vlog is under an hour. You know the full length of it. But holy crap, I have to message my friend Kaylani and just caps locks go, Bryce isn't fucking hilarious! Like, holy shit! But I will see you in the morning after I've reread that shit and have, like, more thoughts. Okay, so if the camera quality is different, it's because I have to actually film on my camera instead of my phone, because my phone is having trouble, like, exporting the other footage, which is frustrating. But my final thoughts on this book, I'm going to just sit down, and I'm not going to talk about theories or anything like that. I might do an entire video of, like, a review and theories if my brain can comprehend stuff, because I still couldn't tell you what's happening in half this book. I will say it is very, like, detail heavy, and, like, the plot really drags out, but I still enjoyed it. Like, I'm giving it 5 stars. This is the best book I've read this year, and honestly probably the best book I have read. I don't want to say it's the best book I've read by Sarah J. Maas, because I still am a sucker for ACOMAF. But I do think this has taken the number 2 slot in favorite Sarah J. Maas book, just based on how it made me feel and how it made me react, and just how much stuff was placed to add to theories and, like, all of that. And then also the fact that Bryce goes in the fucking ACOTAR world, that right there sold me. I will say that I still, like, I understand that, like, okay, the Asteri are these, like, more than godlike things that have taken over all these worlds, has decimated them, and now they're letting everybody kind of be on Midgard, like, let everyone be on Midgard, more or less, like, use them for their, it's called First Light and Second Light. I still don't fully understand that. That is something that I will look into more. But I love the theories that have happened, because a lot of the theories of this are to do with how it's going to affect ACOTAR, and, like, oh my gosh, I'm just in love with this book, honestly. I think I might do a whole review maybe in, like, a week or 2, once I can let everything sink in, maybe do, like, a reread of some of the chapters that I need to, and all of that. But I think I'm going to call this vlog an end, solely because if I sit here, I will just be babbling on about theories that I don't have full evidence written for. Let's actually quickly go through my notes and see what my predictions were. Okay, and there was one prediction that I said that I don't think I said at the beginning, so I'll go through that. So, how did all the species come from different worlds, and what worlds did they come from? I understand that they came through during the crossing, but what was it all from? One world, multiple worlds, one we've already seen. That one that we've already seen, this is a theory / has been confirmed that the Fae from Crescent City, the Fae from Midgard, are related to the Fae in ACOTAR. Like, they're the same, like, bloodlines. I don't want to say that, but, like, they're the same type of Fae. And then also there's a theory, again, we're not going full theory, but that the shifters, because it's confirmed in this that the shifters are actually a type of Fae, that those come from the Throne of Glass world. So I think we've seen where at least 2 of the species or species types have come from. And how did they all get through is the Asteri. So this is one that this is a theory that I don't remember if I said, because I think last minute I said no, it's not going to be true. Is that Truth Teller and Star Sword equals pair of weapons, maybe from the same thing, such as same person or creature, same place. Not my theory, just one I liked. And it is confirmed that when you put Star Sword and Truth Teller together, they make the ancient sword of Gwyndion. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that. That is what's mentioned in Silver Flames. I've already mentioned it though. And then Hunt's father, why do Adis and Jessamine know who he is? There's a bunch of theories going on, and I'm going to stick with the theory that I said before, unless evidence proves otherwise upon a reread. And then Fury, what actually is she? Because we have no idea how old she is, as what species she is. I do think that Fury is like the same species or similar species to Amryn. What actually is Jessica? Because I know she's more than she claims. I still have no idea about that. And then is Hunt and Bryce endgame? If not, I will cry. They are, because of things that have been said of like they're each other's souls, like they're each other's half, they're each other's mirrors. A line of Hunt being like that essentially like Bryce is the person that he's been waiting for forever type thing. And then predictions, we will learn more about the Starborn Fae and their abilities. Yes, we did. And then I will cry at least 3 times. Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue tabs, and blue tabs mean tears, so yes. But I'm going to leave this here. I know this vlog is super long. I bet it's probably like an hour and a half long, in all honesty, and I'm perfectly okay with that because this vlog is for me to look back on in, let's say, a year when the 3rd book comes out, to see my reactions and to see where my theories went. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and bye!